Well, this face-off between the Pakistani Supreme Court and the government has escalated further. The chief of the Pakistan Accountability Bureau, the agency that's actually tasked by the Supreme Court to arrest Pak Prime Minister Raja Pervez Ashraf, has refused to do so. The court had ordered the arrest on Tuesday, but the NAB chief says there isn't sufficient evidence to arrest the Prime Minister. Now, the courts will decide whether the official or the government will be held in contempt for not executing the arrest orders. The Pak Prime Minister is accused in a corruption case over the building of power stations in Pakistan. So that's the latest crisis that's brewing in Pakistan. Pakistan Prime Minister not yet arrested despite the arrest orders that were given by the Pakistan's apex court.
The references were prepared without any evidence and without any proper documents against the Prime Minister in the rental power case. This shows that this tussle between the executive and the judiciary will definitely affect the relationship and the current turmoil in Pakistan.
Remember, a three-judge bench, which was headed by Chief Justice Iftikhar Chaudhry, had directed the National Accountability Bureau, which is the country's main anti-corruption agency, to initiate action against the Prime Minister and some 20 other people for alleged corruption cases in the setting up of a rental power projects in Pakistan. According to reports, the court had set a deadline of 24 hours, but now the National Accountability Bureau chief has cited insufficient evidence and has refused to execute the arrest orders issued by the Pakistani Supreme Court. While the court has also directed officials to submit investigation reports on the case, the investigation that have been on in corruption case. So another chapter in judiciary versus executive battle in Pakistan. The latest confrontation comes as the National Accountability Bureau chief has refused to execute the arrest orders issued by the Supreme Court, saying there isn't sufficient evidence. Remember, this order that came from the Supreme Court has given a boost to the anti-government protests that are taking place in Islamabad, being led by a Canadian cleric, Tahir Qadri, who's been staging a protest, a sit-in protest near Parliament with thousands of his supporters. He, in fact, has been claiming that the Prime Minister has lost the moral authority to continue to be in office and he should have resigned on his own. But the government too steadfast. The National Accountability Bureau now not executing the arrest orders. Hamza Amir with the latest on the phone line with us. Hamza, just take us through the range of reactions that are coming into these developments.
Today's orders of the Supreme Court basically were reviewed that none of the orders were followed by the National Accountability Bureau. The Prime Minister has not been arrested. He still sits in the Prime Minister house very comfortably, talking to the coalition parties about what Qadri is doing and not concerned about what Supreme Court's orders are. And that is why, Supreme Court has expressed its disregard against the NAB, against the NAB, of not following the orders, while NAB has maintained that there is not enough evidence for them to move forward with arrests of any of the individuals involved in the rental power plant case. That is one point that the NAB has maintained. Now, not to forget, National Accountability Bureau's chief and this whole organization is under the governance of the ruling party, Pakistan People's Party, the ruling government basically. They have hired the recently appointed Fasih Bukhari, who is the chief of National Accountability Bureau. So obviously he has his tilt towards the government much more than he has for the Supreme Court. And this is what they're doing exactly, that they're lingering the time forward